Have you ever wanted to push yourself and climb the highest mountains in the world? Well, I have. Hey guys, I'm Stuart. I'm from California, but I'm currently in Minnesota working as a family med resident. I'm a huge musician, chess player, and I also love the outdoors. One of my many goals in life is to hike the seven summits, which is the highest mountain in each continent. And in order to do that, it requires a lot of training, a lot of mountains that I want to do before I start tackling the seven summits. The first one I'm going to hike is this March, which is Kilimanjaro, the highest peak in Africa. But first, before we get there, let me take you to Mexico. Vamos! About 2 years ago, my friend from medical school, Jugnu, her husband Rory, and I decided to climb Mexico's highest peak, Pico, Orizaba. Orizaba stands at a towering 18,491 feet and is North America's third highest mountain, only surpassed by Mount Logan in Canada and Mount Denali in Alaska. In order to get to Orizaba, we had to first fly into Mexico City. I arrived a few hours before my friends, which was enough time for me to explore El Zócalo, or the main city plaza, y la Torre Latinoamericana, a skyscraper in Mexico City. And of course, dance with the locals. Me encanta bailar. My friends Jugi and Rory arrived later that night, and the next morning we were off with our tour guide Oscar. In order to acclimate, the next stop was Malinche, a volcano at 14,600 feet. As we climbed higher and higher, we began to feel the altitude. We also found a mountain dog that accompanied us to the top of Malinche. After coming down Malinche, we stayed the night in a hostel before heading to Pico Orizaba and base camp. Once we arrived at base camp at 14,000 feet, we went on a small hike up the mountain to acclimate and prepared to summit Pico Orizaba the next morning. After sleeping about 3 hours, we woke up around midnight and began our trek towards the summit. Orizaba was definitely the most difficult climb of my life. Not only was it extremely difficult to breathe, I had a difficult time navigating up the mountain with my crampons. Jugi ended up turning back around 16,000 feet with one of our tour guides, and Rory and I made it to 17,160 feet, a personal best for both of us. Even though we didn't summit, the view from 17,000 feet was incredible. After we came down the mountain, we went back to Mexico City, explored Castillo de Chapultepec, missed our flights back to the United States, and partied with some of the coolest people in Houston.